The Biden administration is asking the Supreme Court to reinstate its vaccine policy for workers at federally funded hospitals. It's hoping to block rulings by lower court judges that halted the requirement from going into effect in 24 states. Court papers filed yesterday note that more than 800,000 Americans have died of COVID-19 since the start of the pandemic. The administration argues the requirement is particularly justified now as the Omicron variant spreads. So for more on this, we want to bring in Weijia Jiang, who is at the White House. Good morning again to you, Weijia. What more can you tell us about this emergency filing?
So, Anne-Marie, as we expected, after President Biden announced and then took steps to implement a federal vaccine mandate, which does impact those federal healthcare workers, this was tied up in court, and it remains tied up in several lower courts. So in this emergency ruling, the Biden administration is asking the Supreme Court to allow the mandate to go into effect, saying that it is urgently needed health and safety measure to take effect before the winter spike in COVID-19 cases worsens even further. And it said that the requirement will save hundreds or even thousands of lives each month. Now, this particular request comes a day after a New Orleans-based 5th U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals lifted what was a nationwide ban on the mandate, meaning it had to be able to go into effect. So instead, there are 14 states as part of that lawsuit that basically can re-implement a ban and not force these healthcare workers to get their vaccines. Separately, in another Court of Appeals, there is about 10 states where the court decided something differently. And so those states are not able to lift the ban on the mandate. So the administration is saying for all of these states currently wrapped up in lawsuits, as these lawsuits play out, to go ahead and allow the policy to go into effect, because again, they're stressing that this is a life and death situation and that ahead of the really cold months, they are concerned there will be even more spikes.
Yeah, as the courts sort of grind their way through looking at all of these cases and then take breaks for the holidays, the Omicron variant is spreading all over the place. And testing centers are dealing with incredibly long lines as people try to determine whether or not they indeed have COVID. What are we hearing from the administration on its current efforts to combat COVID? I know the messaging now is, if you haven't been vaccinated before, get vaccinated. If you have been, get your booster shot. Is that the main thrust?
Well, it was just a couple weeks ago that President Biden announced his winter COVID plan, which is centered around boosters and vaccines, making it easier for people to get them. But also, it's supposed to make testing more widely available and have insurance companies reimburse people for testing, to have more centers for the uninsured and community clinics for people to get tested so they can track the virus more easily. But Anne-Marie, as you mentioned, we are seeing anecdotally, people waiting in line still for hours, not to mention the fact that it is not easy to go through all that paperwork to get reimbursed from your insurance company if you do buy a test. So even though that hasn't even gone into effect yet, it will be interesting to see whether people actually attempt to do that, because we've already heard that people have tried and are currently failing. They're also sending more surge response teams to different hotspots. But the main message, Anne-Marie, you are right, that they're trying to stress, and have been for the better part of this year or all year, is that people have to get their vaccines in order to protect themselves, as well as their boosters, or it's hard to imagine a way out of this. And perhaps, this is the new normal, but it's not normal, because we're seeing surge after surge after surge. And I think you see a frustration from the president and from healthcare officials, federal health officials on his COVID task force, as they repeat the same message every day.
Yeah, it's so true. There have been carrots and there have been sticks, and an awful lot of people have been vaccinated, but there are still enough holdouts that these emergency room beds are filling up yet again. But I want to talk about something else. President not getting one of the things that he has on his Christmas list. He wanted his social spending plan passed by Christmas. That's not going to happen. He had to acknowledge that it's not going to happen. And who's putting coal in his stocking? It's Senator Joe Manchin of West Virginia. Perhaps it's appropriate that he's putting coal in there, yes. Because he still just can't get over the price tag. But the good news is that they're still talking. They're still talking. But what are they talking about?
Well, that's why we don't know whether it's good news or bad news, Anne-Marie, because the president had to issue this statement, do a little damage control amid several reports, including from our colleagues on Capitol Hill, that said basically even though these two Joes had been talking frequently, the negotiations were going poorly. They weren't making any progress. And so the president issued a statement to say, listen, everything is all right, essentially, to say that even though we won't meet this Christmas deadline, that he thinks in a matter of days and weeks, there will be progress made and the bill will advance. He says he's working with Schumer and House Speaker Nancy Pelosi, along with Joe Manchin, of course, to try to hash out these differences. But, you know, there is no time frame for when this might get done. And it's hard to imagine that it will get done in the current form that it's in, because, again, Joe Manchin has, you know, been such a holdout from day one. We know that, you know, Senator Lindsey Graham publicly said that he had a conversation with Manchin in which Manchin called some of these proposals gimmicks. We know that Manchin has frequently expressed his concerns about inflation, not to mention some of the substance in the bill. So they have a lot to work out, Anne-Marie, and you know, it would be irresponsible for anybody to try to put a time frame or a time target on this. What we do know is that it's not going to happen before the new year.
All right. Well, yeah, I think that's pretty clear for sure. What does the Senate delay, though, on passing the Build Back Better Act mean for voting rights legislation? Because it's not just about child tax credits and things like that. There are also other issues being addressed in this piece of legislation. So what about voting rights?
Well, voting rights is not in this piece of legislation, but perhaps it could pave the way for more emphasis to be put, which we have seen actually in the past week. President Biden just had a call with several senators yesterday to talk about different paths forward for voting rights. But, you know, unlike the reconciliation process that they're able to use for Build Back Better, they can't do that with voting rights because it has to have a direct impact on the federal budget. So what does that mean? It means they have to have 60 votes in order to get this piece of legislation onto the floor, which means they need Republican support. Or it means they have to change the Senate rules and eliminate the filibuster for this particular piece of legislation. And that means that they would be able to go at it alone without a single Republican because they have the 50 votes to do that. But that's really going to be a tough road ahead too, Anne-Marie, because we don't know if Joe Manchin and especially Arizona's Senator Kyrsten Sinema is going to support that. She has already made clear as of now she does not. And so without Republican support, without a changing of the rules, right now it's just a lot of planning in case they do find that support to move forward with voting rights. But, you know, I think the bottom line here, Anne-Marie, is that the president's domestic agenda is going to be a heavy lift to try to check off some of these items as we head into 2022.
Yeah, you know, voting rights, police reform, these are all things that the president talked about while on the campaign trail that had like a sort of a lot of energy when he first got into office. And they also had self-imposed deadlines, soft deadlines, and they just sort of fizzled out. And this Build Back Better plan has really kind of been the stopper and sort of the bottleneck holding back discussion on almost everything else until it can get through. And as you point out, it's going to be a heavy lift.
And that's really hard, Anne-Marie. The president always says, you know, dance with the person who brought you to the dance. And he has said voting rights is the single biggest domestic issue. He knows who helped propel him into office. He has had several meetings with activists, with leaders in the Black community who have been pushing for more, wondering, when are you going to do something about this? And he just hasn't been able to do anything yet because of the power dynamic in Congress. But he is well aware that the pressure continues to mount, Anne-Marie, because you're right. He ran on this promise.
Yeah. Weijia Jiang, thank you very much. Happy Friday.
Sure. Thanks.